Good morning. Welcome back to yet another section of informatics. I think all of you remembered well. We are going through the sixth module, computer localization. We already went through the first topic, localization, then the second topic, using computers in local languages, then the third topic, after that, we already talked about the third topic, language packs, and fourth topic, font. Then finally we reached at the fifth topic, main topic, fonts. I think in our last class we just started, we already identified what it is font, then what it is typeface, then we also talked about the width and height of the characters. Based on the width we already identified, it divided into two, monospace and proportional font. Then we talked about the font families. So we already identified that there are two basic kinds of computer font file data formats. Have you remembered what it is? Yes, bitmap fonts and outline fonts. Now we are going to speak about these file data formats in detail. Okay, please take the page number 353. Ready? Okay, what it is a bitmap fonts. A bitmap font is one that stores each glyph as an array of pixels. That is a bitmap. So in the case of a bitmap font, we can store each glyph as an arrangement of pixels. Pixels means picture element. So through the bitmap font, we can store each glyph as an arrangement of pixels. It is bitmap. For each variant of the font, there is a complete set of glyph images, with each set containing an image for each character. So in this bitmap font we will get a set of glyph images. Okay, for example, if a font has three sizes and any combination of bold and italic, then there must be 12 complete sets of images. Okay, so for example, if you are take a font, it has three sizes, the particular font has three sizes, definitely we can choose either bold or italic, then there must be 12 complete sets of images. Okay, that it is a bitmap font. Then we are going to speak about what are the advantages of a bitmap font. What are the advantages? First one is extremely fast and simple to render. That is the first advantage. It is very simple and more than that it is very fast. The second one, unscaled bitmap fonts always give exactly the same output. So there is no tension about the result. It gives exactly the same output. Then the third one, easier to create than the outline type. Once again repeat the same point. It is very simple. It is very easy to create than the outline type. Okay, so these three are the advantages of a bitmap font. So please underline these points. What are the advantages of bitmap font? Extremely fast and simple to render. Unscaled bitmap fonts always give exactly the same output. Easier to create than the outline type. Okay, so these are the advantages of a bitmap font. Now we are going to speak about what are the disadvantages of a bitmap font. Definitely it has also its disadvantages. The primary disadvantage of a bitmap fonts is that the visual quality tends to be poor when scaled or otherwise transformed compared to outline fonts, and providing many optimized and purpose-made sizes of the same font dramatically increases memory usage. So in this sentence we already identified two disadvantages. What it is? The first one, visual quality tends to be poor when we scaled, when we transformed or compared to outline fonts. We can see that the visual quality tends to be poor. Okay, the next disadvantage, many optimized and purpose made sizes of the same font dramatically increases memory usage. It will influence the memory usage. So as the result we can see that increases memory usage. So I think all of you understood the two disadvantages. Then we can move to the next one. The earliest bitmap fonts were only available in certain optimized sizes such as 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 18, 24, 36, 48, 72 and 96 points, with custom fonts often available in only one specific size, such as a headline font at only 72 points. That is the next advantage. In the case of headline font, it will get a maximum 72 points. That is the another disadvantage, third disadvantages of bitmap fonts. Okay, then we can move to the next disadvantage, the limited processing power and memory of early computer systems forced exclusive use of bitmap fonts. Limited processing power and memory of early computer systems forced exclusive use of bitmap fonts. Improvements in hardware have allowed them to be replaced with outline fonts in cases where arbitrary scaling is desirable. But bitmap fonts are still in common use in embedded systems and other places where speed and simplicity are considered important. Okay. So improvements in hardware have allowed them to replace with outline fonts in case where arbitrary scaling is desirable. It's possible, but in the case of bitmap fonts are still in common use in embedded systems. That is the another disadvantage. Bitmap fonts are still in common use in embedded systems and other places where speed and simplicity are considered important. So we can't make any changes relating that it is the fourth disadvantage. Then bitmap fonts are used in the Linux console, the Windows recovery console and embedded systems. Okay. So where we are using the bitmap fonts, we can say that we are using bitmap fonts in Linux console, Windows recovery console and embedded systems. So I think all of you got the idea about what it is a bitmap font and what are the advantages and disadvantages and where we are using bitmap fonts. Is it clear? So we are speaking about a bitmap font. A bitmap font, it is one that shows each glyph as an array of pixels. I told you there must be 12 complete sets of images. Then after that we talked about the advantages. There are 3 advantages. Then we talked about the disadvantages of bitmap font. We can see that there are 4 disadvantages in bitmap font. Then I told you bitmap fonts are used in Linux console, the Windows recovery console and embedded systems. Okay. Then we are going to speak about what is outline fonts. What is outline fonts? Okay, page number 354, outline fonts. Outline fonts, it is also known as vector fonts. It is also known as vector fonts. So outline fonts or vector fonts are collections of vector images. Vector images, that is a set of lines and curves to define the border of glimpse. So in the case of outline fonts or vertical vector fonts, we can see that it is the collection of vector images, that is a set of lines and curves. We can see a set of lines and curves to define the border of glimpse. Then what it is the advantage of outline fonts? Advantage of outline fonts is that they can be easily scaled to any size. That is the advantage. We can easily scale to any size. As opposed to bitmap fonts, outline fonts need sophisticated rendering technology. As a result, they produce better display quality compared to bitmap fonts. Examples of vector fonts include PostScript 1, PostScript type 1 and type 3 fonts, TrueType and OpenType. Okay, I think if you understood what it is outline fonts or vector fonts. I told you it is a collection of vector images and we can see set of lines and curves to define the border of glimpse. Then what are the advantages? The primary advantages of outline fonts is that they can easily scaled to any size. Underline that. It is the primary advantage of outline font. We can easily scaled to any size. Then it is just opposite to bitmap fonts because online fonts need sophisticated rendering technology. Then as the result, they produce better display quality compared to bitmap ones. So we can see that there are two advantages in the case of outline fonts or vector fonts. What are the advantages? First one, they can easily scale to any size. That is the first advantage. Then I told you these outline fonts need sophisticated rendering technology. That's why they can produce better display quality compared to bitmap fonts. So I think all of you got the two advantages of online fonts. In the case of bitmap fonts, I told you there are three advantages. Okay, in the case of outline fonts or vector fonts, we can see there are two advantages. Then what are the examples for vector fonts or outline fonts? There are three examples given here in your textbook as an example for outline fonts or vector fonts. First one, PostScript type 1 and type 3 fonts. Then TrueType font. Then the third one is OpenType font. Okay. So we can go through each examples in detail. First one, type 1 and type 3. There is no need to explain again, it is an outline font. Then type 1 and type 3 fonts were developed by Abbott using the PostScript standard. So underline that, maybe they will ask type 1 and type 3 fonts were developed by dash, developed by Adobe using the PostScript standard. Okay, the next example, TrueType font. TrueType format was developed by Apple and later extended by Microsoft. It was developed by Apple and later extended by Microsoft. TrueType is widely supported over the web. TrueType font rendering is well hinted and good for screenplay. Actually, it is very good for screenplay. TrueType fonts are distributed in a single file which contains shape as well as metric information. I told you it's good for display, and it is distributed in a single file which contains shape as well as metric information. It is currently very popular and implementations exist for all major operating systems. It is very popular outline fonts. These are supported by GNU bar Linux, Microsoft Windows and Apple Macintosh. So I think all of you got a clear idea about TrueType font. This font was developed by Apple and later extended by Microsoft. Okay. Then it is well hinted and good for screenplay because it has a single file which contains shape as well as metric information. Okay, then it is very popular and implementation exists for all major operating systems. It is supported by GNU Linux, Microsoft Windows and Apple Macintosh. Then we are moving to the third example for outline fonts or vector fonts, that it is OpenType font. What it is OpenType font? Okay, we can go through it. OpenType format is a combined initiative of Adobe and Microsoft with the aim to create an advanced font format required for internationalization. Okay. So it is the combination of Adobe and Microsoft. Its aim is to create an advanced font format required for internationalization. That it is the aim. Okay. Once again I repeat, it is the combination of Adobe and Microsoft. What its aim? Aim is to create an advanced format required for internationalization. Then the basic structure is same as TrueType font, except that it can take either a type 1 or TrueType outline. When we are making the comparison with the TrueType font and OpenType font, actually the basic structure is same in these two cases, but in the case of OpenType font, it can take either a type 1 or TrueType outline. That it is the advantage also. Okay, OpenType fonts are distributed as a single file, just like the TrueType font. Okay, as it is possible to keep complex rendering information with an OpenType font. This is the best font format available. This is the advantage of OpenType font. What it is the advantage? It is possible to keep complex rendering information with an OpenType font. This is the best font format available. Both the TrueType and OpenType formats are based on Unicode. Okay, so I think if you remembered well what it is Unicode, we already studied it in detail in the fourth main topic. So actually these two, TrueType and OpenType formats are based on Unicode. I think if you remembered well what it is the aim of Unicode, we already spoke it in detail. Okay. So our fifth topic is over. I think if you remembered well what is our fifth topic, fonts. We already identified what it is fonts. We described it in detail. Then we also identified it is the combination of typeface and desired characteristics such as size, pitch and spacing. Then what it is a typeface? It is a set of one or more fonts in one or more sizes designed with stylistic unity, each comprising a coordinated set of glyph. Then we also described how to give a height of a character. It based on the it is measured in pinch, each point being approximately 1/72 inch. Then about the width, I told you it is measured by pitch. Common pitch values are 10 and 12. Based on the width, we can divide it into two, monospace and a proportional font. So all of you please go through what it is monospace and what it is proportional font. Then we spoke about the font families. I told you we can see the similarities in design. In the case of the font family, it may be bold, while the another one may be italic. Like that, we can see the difference in design. We can see the similarities in design. These characteristics are also referred to as a font style. Okay. Then I told you there are two basic kinds of computer fonts. One is bitmap fonts and next one outline fonts or vector fonts. Then you should have a clear idea about what it is bitmap font. Then what are the advantages? There are three advantages. Then you should have a clear idea about what are the disadvantages. There are 4 disadvantages relating bitmap font. Then you can give an example relating bitmap fonts. After that we went through what it is outline fonts or vector fonts. Then I told you there are 2 advantages based on outline fonts. Then what are the examples for outline fonts or vector fonts? Type 1 and type 3, true type font, open type font. So definitely you can give a clear idea about the examples of outline fonts. There are 3 examples. You can give the details of these 3 examples of outline fonts. Okay, these are the main points relating the 5th main topic, fonts. It is very important topic. University is asking this question repeatedly. Okay. Then we can move to the next main topic, 6th main topic, that it is Malayalam keyboard layout issues and standards. Through this topic, we should meet the problems, the issues based on Malayalam keyboard layout and standards. The first step in involving a keyboard layout is to define the character set in Malayalam. That is the first thing. Define the character set in Malayalam. The character set shall contain all the smallest useful elements of text to be encoded. The characters are to be pragmatically chosen as appropriate to express text and allow various text processes. So here we can see there are 73 basic characters are required in a Malayalam keyboard. So all of you please take the page number 355. Okay. So 73 basic characters are required in a Malayalam keyboard. Okay, you should keep in your memory the correct number. There are 73 basic characters. This topic is also very important. Malayalam keyboard layout issues and standards. So we can see that there are 73 basic characters are required in a Malayalam keyboard. First we can see that there are 13 vowels. I think all of you are very familiar with the vowels a, I, I, U, gr, a, I, o, au. These are the 13 vowels in Malayalam keyboard. The 73 basic characters. Then we can see that there are 36 consonants. Consonants to kakanga, chachanjana, tettadandana, tattadandana, paffabambama, yara, la, va, sha, sha, sa, ha, la, ra, ra. So these are the 36 consonants in Malayalam language. Then we can see the other 3 characters. Anusaram. Anusaram we are writing as 0 like that. Anusaram. Then Visargam. Visargam in the sense column. Okay, Visargam column. Then Chandrakala. Chandrakala, I think all of you are very familiar with Chandrakala in Malayalam. So these are the 3 other characters in basic characters in Malayalam. Then we can see here 4 consonant sounds. 4 consonant sounds. That is also very important. 4 consonant sounds. Okay. Then 12 vowel signs. There are 12 vowel signs. It is also given here in your textbook, the vowel sounds a, I, U, a, I, o, au. These are the vowel signs. So you please go through it in detail using your textbook. Okay. So I told you there are 73 basic characters, 13 vowels, 36 consonants, 3 Anusaram, Visargam and Chandrakala. These are the 3 basic characters. Then I'm sorry, I forgot to speak about chill. Chillaksharangal in Malayalam. There are 5 chill. What are the chill in Malayalam? N, L, R, L, N. So like that there are 5 chills. Then consonant signs, there are 4 consonant signs. Then there are 12 vowel signs. So like this total we can see that 73 basic characters in Malayalam language. Okay. So these 73 character requirements is arrived at after leaving the still larger number of consonants and Malayalam numerals. Any keyboard layout which cannot be mapped to the standard QWERTY keyboard will not be commercially sustainable. I think we already spoke about QWERTY in our previous classes. Okay, so the QWERTY keyboard has provision for 26 keys for English letters. Same keys used for lower case, normal position. I think all of you are very familiar with that. Actually, in our English alphabet, we have only 26 alphabets. Using the same keys, we can make it as lower case and upper case. I think all of you are very familiar with that. Okay, so in the upper case, okay, same keys used for lower case, that means the normal position, and upper case shift position. By pressing shift you can make it as capital. Okay, then 10 keys for numerals and 11 keys for pronunciation marks. Okay, thus all together there are 47 keys in that keyboard. Is it clear? Then excluding the control keys. The optimum Malayalam keyboard layout should be such that. I think nowadays we are very smart to type in English and Malayalam. Am I right? We have the we have the software to download, and by using that we can convert English text to Malayalam. So I think all of you are very familiar with these things in our textbook. Okay. It should be capable of accommodating all Malayalam characters being used. It It should be usable in all computing platforms available. The typing efficiency should be high. So we are speaking about the optimum Malayalam keyboard layout. Malayalam keyboard layout. So it should be capable of accommodating all Malayalam characters being used. With the help of that keyboard, we can type all the Malayalam characters. It should be usable in all computing platforms available. And the other speciality, the typing efficiency should be high. The two keyboard standards available in Malayalam which are not proprietary are the InScript layout and typewriter layout. Underline that. Which are the InScript layout and typewriter layout. Okay. So here we can see that the picture already given here in your textbook, page number 356. The InScript keyboard layout is shown here. Okay. Page number 356. The typewriter keyboard has been designed for the mechanical medium and is not very efficient for computer keyboards. First we are starting with the typewriter layout. In the case of typewriter keyboard has been designed for the mechanical medium and it is not very efficient for computer keyboards. I think, have you seen such a typewriter keyboard? I don't know, maybe you haven't seen, maybe you have seen in films. Okay, so the keyboard design does not take advantages of the flexibility of computers in rendering the conjunct letters, even if the conjuncts require more than one key press. Also, the typing sequence of words in the typewriter keyboard is based on the actual appearance of the characters in the word. This is not very efficient. If any processing on the text like sorting, searching, spell check, grammar check, etc. are to be done on the text. So there are so many limitations in the case of typewriter keyboard. We can't make any grammar check or spelling correction. All these things, it is not possible in the case of typewriter keyboard. After taking the print only we can make the changes. So like that it is not very easier while we are comparing with the InScript layout. Okay, so these are the points relating the typewriter keyboard. Next we are going to speak about what it is the InScript layout. I told you InScript keyboard layouts picture is given here in your textbook. The InScript overlay can be used in any QWERTY keyboard. It can use in any QWERTY keyboard. The keyboard is based on phonetic layout. Underline that. It is based on phonetic layout. Consonant and vowels are given keystrokes, and the consonant vowel combinations are formed by typing the consonant key followed by the vowel key. Is it clear? I think all of you are very familiar with what are the consonant vowels in English also. Okay, so while we are making the combination of consonant vowel, we can type the consonant key followed by the vowel key. Okay, similarly conjuncts are formed by typing the constituent consonants with a Chandrakala typed in between. Okay, like that we can make the conjuncts. So underline these points. InScript overlay has taken into account the logical structure of script alphabet derived from the phonetic properties. The vowel have been laid out on the left hand side of the keyboard and the consonants on the right hand side. Okay, so we can see here the picture. InScript keyboard layout is shown below, unshifted. Then how it will become shifted. What will happen when we are pressing shift plus control. Then the result when we are pressing control plus alt. Then what is the result when we are pressing shift plus control plus alt. So like that when we are using these options, we will get the Malayalam characters clearly. So with the help of pictures given in your textbook, you can easily understand how we can use this in script keyboard. The pictures are given in the textbook, page number 356 and 357. Okay, I think all of you understood. We are going through the topic Malayalam keyboard layout issues and standards. It is very important. There are 73 basic characters in Malayalam language, 13 vowels, 36 consonants, 3 other characters like Anusaram, Visargam, Chandrakala. Then there are 5 chills, then 4 consonant signs, and finally 12 vowel signs. Then actually with the help of QWERTY keyboard we can type it very easily, okay, because it has 26 keys for English letters, then 10 keys for numerals, underline page number 355, 10 keys for numerals and 11 keys for punctuation marks. This all together there are 47 keys excluding the control keys in QWERTY keyboard. Then after that we spoke about the Malayalam keyboard layout. There are three advantages of Malayalam keyboard layout. It should be capable of accommodating all Malayalam characters. Then it should be usable in all computing platform available. The third one, the typing efficiency should be high. Then we already identified there are 2 keyboard standards available in Malayalam. I think all of you remembered well. First one is typewriter layout, second one is InScript layout. In the case of typewriter we already met many difficulties. It is not possible to correct the spelling, grammar, etc. in typewriter. After taking the print only we can make the corrections. Like that it is not very easier way to use typewriter layout. But in the case of InScript layout, it is using the QWERTY keyboard. I think if you got the clear idea about QWERTY keyboard, we already described it in detail. Then we can make the vowels, consonants, and we can make the conjuncts. There are particular style we can use to make all these things. Then I told you in your textbook page number 356 and 357 the textbook already given here the explanation with the proper pictures of the InScript keyboard. So all of you please go through the textbook well. We will continue this topic Malayalam keyboard layout issues and standards in the next class. Okay, thank you.